Silas paid for silence, a ghost town where no one would remember his name. When he and his dog Rex arrived, the stillness felt like salvation. But Rex didn't settle. He stared, rigid, ears flat, at a window that hadn't been touched in decades. Something was alive in the ruins, and it was watching them. Silas came here to escape war, but the war had followed him, just not the one he expected. The old pickup groaned as it rolled to a stop, its engine's final echo swallowed by the endless quiet. Dust, fine as powdered bone, drifted down around the tires like ash settling after a storm. He shifted into park and killed the engine. The silence that rushed in was absolute, a heavy blanket smothering the world. This, he thought, was the reason he'd come. This was the peace he'd paid for. Silas was a man shaped by noise and chaos, a former soldier whose early 40s were carved into his face like canyons. Tall and lean, his frame carried a quiet strength earned through years of discipline. His short brown hair was streaked with silver at the temples, and his gray eyes held a weary kindness that softened the rest of his weathered face. Dressed in a plaid flannel shirt, faded jeans, and scuffed boots, he looked like he belonged to the rugged Montana landscape that stretched out in every direction. He had bought Hollow Ridge sight unseen, $1 and a signature for a dead town in Gallatin County, a place where memories went to die. It was perfect. No sudden shouts, no backfiring engines, just wind, mountains, and ghosts he could live with. A wet nose nudged his hand on the gear shift. Silas looked down at Rex, his only companion. A 5-year-old German shepherd with a coat of silver, gray, and white that made him look almost otherworldly in the pale afternoon light. Rex was more than a dog. He was an anchor. His intelligent amber eyes watched Silas now, sensing the tension coiled in his shoulders. With a soft whine, the dog rested his head on Silas's lap, a silent offering of comfort. "We're home, boy," Silas murmured, his voice rough from disuse. He ran a hand over Rex's thick fur, the familiar texture grounding him. He stepped out, the crunch of gravel under his boots the only sound. The town was a collection of skeletal buildings, their wooden bones bleached by sun and snow. A saloon sign dangled from a single hinge. Windows were dark, hollow eyes staring into nothing. Weeds grew defiant through cracks in the boardwalk. It was exactly as he'd imagined, a graveyard of forgotten dreams. A place where a man could disappear. But as Silas took a slow breath of clean mountain air, Rex suddenly stiffened. His ears swiveled toward the largest building, the old general store. A low growl rumbled in his chest. His body went rigid, gaze locked on one grimy window. Silas's senses sharpened. The old training kicked in. He trusted Rex's instincts more than his own. "What is it, boy?" he whispered, hands still on the dog's back. Instead of silence, he began to notice things, a faint scent on the breeze, not just dust, but wood smoke. And that window, one pane looked cleaner, as if wiped recently. Rex took a step forward, then another, silent on the dust. He didn't bark aggressively, just a low, questioning woof. He looked back at Silas, eyes asking for permission, or giving warning. Silas's hope for sanctuary cracked, replaced by a surge of adrenaline he hadn't felt in years. He followed Rex, steps cautious, body remembering drills from another life. They crept along the boardwalk, wood groaning underfoot. The feeling of being watched grew stronger. Rex stopped at the porch steps, letting out a soft bark. The door remained shut. Silas put a hand on Rex's collar, signaling to stay. He listened. For a long moment, nothing. Maybe just a squatter. Then, a dry cough, faint, weak, undeniably human. Before he could react, the sharp click-clack of a shotgun being cocked cut through the air. For a split second, Silas wasn't in Montana. He was back in the dust and gunfire. The door creaked open. Twin barrels poked through, followed by an elderly woman, silver hair tied back, eyes clouded with anxiety but fierce with resolve. Knuckles white on the shotgun aimed at his chest. That's far enough, she said, voice trembling but firm. This is private property. State your business. Silas raised his hand slowly, open, peaceful. Rex didn't growl. He sat, a silent, powerful presence. The dog's calm eased more than words could. I mean you no harm, Silas said, voice even. The woman's eyes flickered between them. This is our home, she whispered. I understand, he replied, but I just bought this town. The deed's in my truck. The words hung in the air. The shotgun didn't lower, but the certainty behind it faltered. After a long silence, she lowered it. My name is Maggie, she said. She opened the door wider. You should come inside. Silas gave Rex a quiet command. The dog lay down, eyes never leaving the doorway. Inside, the air was cool, smelling of dust, herbs, and stew. Blankets hung as walls, crates served as furniture, shelves held canned food, jars, folded clothes, sparse but clean. Maggie leaned the shotgun against the wall and sank onto a crate. My husband Clay, she began, gaze distant. We had a ranch east of here. He passed last winter. Then the bank came, Clearwater Valley, said he took out a loan, forged his signature, took everything. We walked here. It was the only shelter. As if on cue, a weak, wet cough came from behind a blanket. Maggie's face crumpled. Lily, she breathed. Silas caught a glimpse. A girl no older than 8, pale, thin, sweating, eyes wide with fever and fear. The sight struck him like a blow. He'd seen suffering, but not like this. Not a child. Without a word, he turned and walked out. He strode to his truck. Rex rose, watching. Silas opened the door, pulled out a box of supplies. Beans, meat, rice, coffee, plus 2 wool blankets and a full canteen. He carried it back, set it on the porch. He didn't say she could stay. He didn't say anything. He just placed the box down, a simple offering. Rex patted up, nudged it with his nose, then looked at Maggie, who stood frozen in the doorway, face a mask of disbelief and dawning hope. An agreement, made without words. Michael and Rex had come for silence. Instead, they found duty. For the first time in years, the silence didn't feel so empty. A fragile peace settled over Hollow Ridge. Silas worked, securing loose boards on the porch. Maggie, in quiet gratitude, made him stew. They ate in comfortable silence. Lily's cough echoed. From within, a little less severe maybe. Rex stayed close, a self-appointed guardian, the peace shattered with the distant drone of an engine. Rex's head shot up, ears swiveling. A low growl rumbled. Silas tensed. A sheriff's car appeared, kicking up dust. It stopped hard. Sheriff Garrett stepped out, large, florid-faced, smirking. 2 deputies followed. Garrett ignored Silas, eyes landing on Maggie. Maggie, he said, voice slick with false pleasantry. Found you. Saved me a trip. She stepped forward, face pale. What do you want? Trespassing. Vagrancy, he said, pulling out papers. Bank complaint. I'm here to escort you and the child off this property. The younger deputy fidgeted. The older one smirked. Silas stayed silent, watching. This is my home now, Maggie said, voice shaking but defiant. Garrett laughed. It's a ghost town, sweetheart. Nobody's home. He nodded to the older deputy. Collins, help her with her things. Collins stepped forward, hand on his holster. He never made it to the 3rd step. In a blur of gray and white, Rex launched himself, silent, not barking wildly, just planting himself between Collins and Maggie, hackles raised, a growl deep as the earth vibrating from his chest. Collins froze. The younger deputy stepped. Garrett's smirk vanished. Call off your dog, he snapped at Silas. Silas pushed off the column unhurried. He's not bothering anyone, he said, voice cold. You, however, are harassing a guest of mine. This is my property. Leave her alone. Garrett was trapped. The combination of a lethal-looking dog and a man with mountain stillness was something his bullying couldn't break. After a long moment, he pointed at Silas. "You're making a big mistake. I'll be back with a warrant." He stomped off. The car roared away, leaving only dust and threat. Silas exhaled. He placed a hand on Rex's head. The growl subsided. The danger was gone, but the shadow loomed. Maggie sagged against the doorframe, shotgun forgotten. "He'll be back," she whispered. "I know," Silas said. "Let's go inside." They sat on crates. A pot of stew sat cold between them. Rex lay at Silas's feet, alert. "He's lying," Maggie said. "The bank, Brody, all of them. Clay hated debt. He'd never sign a loan like that. And the signature, too neat. Clay's was crooked, impatient. I'd know it." Silas listened. He didn't doubt her. What he saw in Garrett wasn't law. It was predation. The pieces clicked. He'd seen this before, not with banks, but in war zones. Identify the weak, a widow, grieving. Create a pretext, forge documents, apply pressure, corrupt authority. It was a clean, efficient operation to steal from the powerless. "This isn't just about $750, Silas said. It's a system. They're not just taking your ranch. They're doing this to others." Maggie's face filled with horror and validation. She wasn't just unlucky, she was a casualty. In that moment, something shifted in Silas. His desire to hide, to be left alone, no longer mattered. When he saw Lily, frail and sick, it was pity. Now it was rage. This was a mission. The enemy was defined. The stakes were life and death. The man he thought was gone. The soldier who lived by honor, who ran toward the fight, was waking up. This ghost town wasn't a resting place. It was a battlefield, and he wouldn't lose. Rex lifted his head, rested it on Silas's knee, looking up with unwavering eyes. He didn't know the details, but he knew the intent. Wherever Silas went, Rex would be there. Days passed in tense quiet. Silas repaired the well, patched the roof, preparing for siege. Maggie tended to Lily. The coughs still came, but the girl could sit up now, watching Silas and Rex with curious eyes. Rex would lie on the porch, then pad inside to nudge Lily's hand, always bringing a weak smile. Late one afternoon, Rex's ears perked. A low growl. Engines. More than one. Silas moved to the porch, Rex at his side. 3 dusty farm trucks arrived, not law. Doors opened. Families stepped out. Tired. Men, weary women, quiet children. A woman stepped forward. Maria, strong, sun-browned, braid down her back. "Are you the man who told Sheriff Garrett to get off your land?" Silas nodded. "I'm Maria. We heard. We came to thank you, and to tell you, you're not alone." That evening, around a fire, stories poured out, each a echo of Maggie's. A husband dead, then a forged loan, an old man's heart attack followed by a fake tractor debt. The pattern was undeniable, the target, vulnerable, grieving. The method, fraud, forged signatures, enforcement by Garrett and the bank, land thieves hiding behind legality. Silas listened, jaw tight with fury. Maria spoke. "We need proof, something hard, something they can't deny." "There might be a way," she said. "A bank teller, Ethan. He noticed things, tried to help, then vanished." Hope flickered, then dimmed. "We need to find him, or what he left behind." The mission was set. At dawn they searched, no sign. By late afternoon, all but Silas, and Rex returned, defeated. "I'll go," Silas said. "One last place." Deep in the woods, they found the trapper's cabin. Roof collapsed, door crooked. Inside, dust, debris, cold ashes. Nothing. Then Rex stood rigid in a shadowed corner, whining, scratching at a floorboard. Silas knelt. The board was loose. He found a rusted tire iron, pried it up. Beneath, a metal box. An old ammo can. Lifted it. Hands trembling, he opened it. Inside, ledgers, contracts, a letter. My name is Ethan. I forged the papers. I can't live with it. Use this. Stop them. Silas read it twice. This was the weapon. He had come for silence. He had found war. And Rex, with a scent for justice, had handed him the key to win it.